All right, you know what it is. YFN Lucci just got a sweet deal. Everybody's talking crazy on the internet. They ain't been there. They ain't been battle tested. They ain't stood in front of the Grim Reaper in the black robe, so they don't know what's going on. So I'm going to break it down for you the best I could to make sure that even a layman understand that. That just means somebody that's not educated in the field of law. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. Check it out. This is about YFN Lucci. He just got a sweet deal. That's him behind us celebrating in greater days. He got dreadlocks right now because he been sitting in the county jail for 3.5 years. Now, this man, so you understand, I got to give him a round of applause. I got to give him a round of applause. I got to give him a round of applause. All right, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. You know I got to explain why I'm giving him a round of applause, because we got the rat bastards and flip-flop winning public trolls that's going to say, how could you give a man a round of applause that, you know, pled guilty to murder? Because we talking about two different sides of the street right now. Right now, on the civilian side, but I know all about the street side, and that's what I want the youngins to understand, the civilian side and the street side. That's why I want them to hear from somebody that told and someone that didn't tell, so they can hear both sides and they can make their own assessment that, God willing, would be the right one to stay off the street, because it's not worth it. Check it out. This the way it go. Now, right, this man, he stood on business on the street. He got picked up for, you know, going at it with, you know, YSL, Young Thug and his crew. They wanted him to testify against Young Thug. Even though that was his op at the street level, he still refused to go there, because that's how it go. You don't help the government if you on the street. I'm telling you, don't get on the street. So if you want, you can freely help the government and do your civic duty because you're paying taxes. So don't think that I'm promoting don't do this, don't do that, anti this, anti that. No, I'm just pushing both sides to you to fully understand. And I want you to understand that the street side is an ugly side. Here go a young man in his 20s. He sat down in jail for 3.5 years fighting a murder case, knowing that he was looking at life in prison every day. You can imagine what that does to the psyche. Every night you go to sleep, you know that they're trying to take the rest of your life from you. So he's had to sit there and remain strong, which is what he did. He never folded, and that's why I gave him a round of applause, because he chose a side and he's representing that side the way it should be represented. He's not trying to flip it and say, oh, you know, YSL tried to kill me, so I'm going to testify against YSL. No, that's not between him, YSL, and the government. That's between him and YSL. However they decide to reconcile that, God willing, they will, because they all young and they had a chance to sit down and let the tempers cool, and sometimes that's what they need. But they definitely don't need life in prison with no chance of parole. Let's get that straight. Now, so you understand, what happened with his case, if y'all not familiar with it, is back in January 2021, they put out a warrant for his arrest for a drive-by shooting, you know, where one person wound up getting killed. You know, the person that got killed was his homie. Now, this is the way it play out. So I want you youngins to listen to this. I'm going to just give y'all the raw truth right now. You know, the raw reality. I know no one else going to give it to you, so let me give you some gunshots with that. All right? Now, you got 4 young men. Dude just get, you know, a $250,000 Bentley given to him by the record dealer. He riding, whatever happened, you know what I mean? You know, whatever sparked him. He said, man, let's roll on the ops, you know, allegedly. So he decided to roll on the ops allegedly with his homies. They roll up, and when they get over there, 2 of his homies jump out and they start busting. Bang, 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 bang. They busting. So while they busting, the other dudes now, they get up, they run, they get in the car, and, you know, what I gather from the reports is that one of the participants that was with Lucci, he stepped back out and he continued to let loose So while he's letting loose, you know what I mean, he jumps in the car. Before he could pull out, he catches one to the head. Now he's slumped out the car. Now, this is where I want y'all to put it in the comments. If that was your comrade and you go do a joke or you go do a lick and something go wrong and he winds up getting one in the head and you know he's not going to make it, what are you going to do with him and his body at that point? Put it in the comments. 1, you're going to take him to the hospital. 2, you're going to drop him off on the street corner. Or 3, you're just going to kick his ass out where he at. You know what I mean? And keep it moving. Those are your choices. Put it in the comments. I know it's raw and that's all I can give it to you because that's the only way the young is going to understand. Look at the crowd behind me that's in these videos. These are the young men that I'm talking to so that they could see where I've been to try not to wind up on that side where I was at. So now, let me explain to you how that thing going. You know what I mean? Now, if you on the street and you agree to go on a lick with somebody, you know there's a chance of getting caught or getting killed. That's it. No gray line, nothing in the middle, because bottom line is it's every man for himself. It's survival of the fittest, but we all pushing towards one common goal. And that common goal is to accomplish the mission and get up out of there safely. But one winds up catching one in the head. You know he's dead. Bottom line, as raw as you don't want to hear this, bottom line is, oops, he gets pushed out the car because he ain't make it anyway. They'll find him, do what they got to do, and, that's how that play out. Now, once they find him and do what they got to do with the body, now that's on them. But bottom line is, you worry about your own ass. So if you want to be a part of the street and say you care about your homie, I'm going to make sure this and that. If your homie's dead, he's dead. My brother's dead. He already got 2 to the head. There was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't even no tears I could spill to bring him back. So it's no need for spilled tears. That's what you call a casualty of war. Can't give it to you no more realer than that. Now, this the way this play out, right? I'm going to take this off and I want y'all to really listen to this so that you can see. This is what happened when they pushed the body out because they was like, I'm not taking him to no hospital because we take him to the hospital. Not only is that going to slow us down, they're going to ask us a bunch of questions. They're going to want to do forensic. And then we all going to get caught when he's already dead. He's already dead. So what is there to do? But, boop, kick him out. You know what I mean? I mean, if I go on a joke, right? Put me in it so y'all understand. If I go on a good joke, I ain't into that no more. But back in the day, if I go on a joke and I wind up getting wet up, I don't expect my man to stay behind and babysit me if I'm dead. If I'm wounded, yeah, help me out. And we going to limp out of there together. But one in the head where you know he's dead, there's nothing you could do but boop, put him out. You know what I mean? I know it sounds raw. I know y'all don't understand that, but it is what it is. So sit back and check this out while you look at the video, man. All right, we're going to get this thing right now, and we're going to make sure we do what we got to do. I'm trying to take me off the screen real quick, so that, we can get this right. All right, here it go right here. Bang. Now, listen up.
We need an ambulance. Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely.
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
Huh? He's still trying to fight for his life.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Baby, can y'all please get an ambulance here? This man is dying. He's shot in the head. He just took his last breath, man.
What street are you on, ma'am? Can you give him your location, please, for the ambulance to give the guy some help?
What is his address? Man, this man just took his last breath, man.
Man, we have help on the way already. Tell me exactly what happened.
We don't know. Me and my sister, we were just walking down the street, and somebody just rolled down the street with a man hanging out the car. They just pushed him out the truck and left him for dead.
Ma'am, I thought you said he was shot in the head.
Yes, he is shot in the head. They threw him out the car. He just died. He just took his last breath.
We have help already on the way, okay?
Okay.
And can you tell me what kind of vehicle?
You go ahead and get fire and PD and right on
Can you tell me what kind of vehicle he was doing, please?
White.
A white car, truck, or SUV?
SUV.
What direction did the SUV
Yes,
go?
his whole body was just hanging out the cars.
Listen, just stay on the phone. Can you tell me if you saw any of the people that were driving the car, whether they
No, I
adults or
didn't see
kids?
the people. They were driving real fast.
All right, so that's what it is. See, that's what a good Samaritan do. But a criminal on a jukes, the last thing he gonna do is stop to say, let me take the body to the hospital. You know, but let me say this, right, for the record. Rest in peace to the brother that lost his life. Rest in peace to the brother that lost his life and his family. Big rest in peace with them. But, you know, we make choices and we responsible for our choices. You know, like, I'm a ride, I'm a ride. So I'm gonna give you one, right? I'm gonna give you one. Same situation, right? I'm on the street corner. I ain't gonna say where. I'm on the street corner and, I pull up with the MPV. I got the music blasted out the back. I got champagne out there, cases of champagne, cases of Heineken and Corona and St. Ives, and yes, Cisco. You know what I mean? All the way from Miami. So I'm throwing a little block party because I pulled, and this ain't even my block. I'm just riding. I had that in the car, so I pulled over, got, big green garbage bags, threw the garbage out the garbage, put the green garbage bag in the joint, filled it up with ice, threw all the liquor in it, and bust out a half a pound of weed and passed it around. Everybody rolled up and we out there chilling. But mind you, we in a whole different neighborhood now. So while we in this different neighborhood, we sitting there chilling and we playing the music. The girls is dancing with us. We carrying on. We partying. This what it was like in America. We having a ball. So while we doing our thing, some local dudes from the block, they get mad because we stealing the shine and we doing all, the hoopla, and it's not about them right now. It's about, us. So they get mad. They climb up on the roof and they start shooting down. Blah, 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 blah. So now while they start shooting down, everybody that was down there had their joints. They start shooting back at the roof. Then some people on the street started shooting. Everybody shooting. And then here comes, I jumped in a Mazda minivan. Everybody else that was out there that was close enough to it, because the doors is open, because the speakers is playing, that's where the music coming from, they all jump in it. So picture all the people behind us on the step jump in the van. So now I try to pull off and it felt sluggish. And I look back, it's tinted windows. I look back, I see the back hatch open and I see a girl sitting down with a leg hanging out. And all I heard over the loud noise and the craziness was, ah! I look back and I just seen blood everywhere. So now Shorty got shot in the foot. Now, we wasn't on no jukes or nothing. We wasn't on nothing. So what I did was, I made sure I got up out of there to get away from the police, get away from the gunfire. And now I'm trying to get someplace safe to put this young lady out because she had nothing to do with it and we had nothing to do with it either. It was just what you call flossing gone wrong. All right. So now I drive Shorty up to the hospital. I drop her off at the hospital, make sure she got in, her sister. I don't even know them. I just met them. And that's what wound up, helping me to beat the case. I don't even know these young ladies. But I did the right thing, dropped them off. I get back in the van and now I'm driving and the police see the van because they put out an APB on it and they pulled me over. There's nobody in it but me. They asked me who was in the van. I said, man, I don't know. I'm in the corner. I parked. People jumped in. Somebody got shot. I dropped off at the hospital. Da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? And gave them the civilian talk and, kept it moving. But they locked me up and charged me with shooting the girl. Charged me with the girl getting shot. Well, they was trying to charge me because it didn't make it to what they call the 8088 day. That's the, the grand jury proceeding, So, they try to charge me with all these crimes because I'm the one that got caught and figured that I'm going to tell because they said gunshots was coming out the van. I had to know who it was, this and that. I don't know nothing. Like Colonel Klink said, I see nothing and I hear nothing. So now we sitting there and they lock me up for it. So I go down and, I call my man. I tell him, yo, bring 20 grand. The lawyer said it might be about 20 grand for bail. So he brings the 20 grand. We go down there, but the case was so weak and my lawyer was so good. He ate it up, went up in there. They gave me all my own recognizance. For about 90 days, they was investigating the case. They talked to the young lady that got shot and her story matched up the same as mine because, thank God I didn't know the young lady. I was just doing the right thing and drove her to the hospital. You understand? But now let me say this for the record so y'all understand. See, we do have a heart on the street, but she was alive. If a dude gets shot in the head and if my brother's with me and he gets shot in the head, I'm kicking his ass out the car. I'm just keeping it 100. If you're not going to be raw like that, get out the street. If me and my brother go on the jukes and he catch one in his head, I'm kicking his ass out the car because I'm not going to get caught with the dead body and trying to drag around his dead body while I'm trying to get my ass to safety. That's just how raw it is. I'm sorry to have to give it to you like that. You know what I mean? And let's do the flip side. If I'm on a jokes with my brother, even my father, and things go awry and I get one to the head and they know I'm dead, you better boop, kick my ass out the car too. Because that's what it is. Save yourself. But that don't mean after you kick me out the car, you turn around and you go to court and you say, it was him that did everything. Not saying the brother did that. I'm just using that for example. Meaning, just because my brother's dead and I had to boop, kick his ass out the car, don't mean now I'm going to kick the charges on him. No, I'm going to fight the charges and keep it moving because I don't want my brother to die with a conviction on his jacket or his kids to know, that he got a felony conviction on his jacket because of his uncle, so that's just where I am, you know what I mean? That's where I am. See, I'm using the I statements. I learned that in psychology when I sat down in federal prison for 26 years, taking 3,500 hours of psychological training to find out why I was mentally screwed up, and it didn't mean nothing to me to kick my own brother, boop, out the car if he gets shot in the head. I know that's not normal, but it's my life. It was my life. That's why I want y'all to know, don't make these choices that I made. Make the choices that I made today and get out the street and do the right thing and try and make our community better. That's all I'm saying. But if you're on the street, it's that raw, man. One to the head, he's dead. He's no longer valuable. There's nothing you could do for him. Boop. Nothing you could do for me. Boop. Kick my ass out on the curb. We deal with that later. But just get your ass to safety, and that's the way it is, So we're not gonna do none of this movie talk like, he should have took him to the hospital. Oh, that's dirty, that's grimy. No, you's a rat bastard if you thinking like that. Now you take him to the hospital. Now the police ask you all kinds of questions. Now you gotta answer questions. When you don't put yourself in a situation to have to answer the question, but you could have just stayed the hell away. Boop, kicked his ass out the car and let them try and figure out where the dead body came from. But the young ladies found it, so they was the witness to it or whatever, straight civilians, so they did nothing wrong. But just want you to understand, what I respect about this man, Lucci, is even though he was beefing with YSL and Young Thug and them on the street, he made it emphatically clear he's not working with the feds. He's not working with the police. He's not doing none of that. That's the way that worked. So you understand. The man stood on his business, and he was ready to go to trial. If I'm not mistaken, I think they was even picking a jury. That's usually the best time to cop out if you're going to cop out. You take them, what we call back in the days, all the way to the door. All the way to the door is when they bring the jury in the door. And that's when they give you the sweetest deal. They knew that man's case was weak. They knew Lucci's case was weak against him. So they wound up giving him what they called a negotiative plea. A negotiative plea is where they come together. See, I break all this down. That's why follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. Unique Mecca Audio, that's my Cash App up there. My last name do not have a 1 in it. Make sure you push the logo and say it was created in 2020. Now, so like I said, that's how we do it. You know what I mean? Just giving it to you raw. Negotiated plea is when, your lawyer and the prosecutor, not you and the prosecutor, because you never talk to the prosecutor. I've never talked to the prosecutor in my case one time until I came home. I became a free man. I wanted to look him in the face and tell him you was wrong. I didn't die in prison, and I'm not a scumbag. You know what I mean? Because that's what he called me in the court when I told the judge, send me somewhere so I could further my education so I could come home and be a better man for society and my family. Prosecutor said, oh, he's a scumbag. He think he's coming home one day. And I just looked at him and I gave that little Harlem smirk with my Denzel laugh like, come on, my nigga. Never could you hold a lion. You know what I mean? You could capture a lion, but the lion would always be free. And that's why the title of my book is called A Roar in Harlem, if you don't understand what I'm saying. So we're going to get this thing right. We're going to move it. And if you don't know what the book looked like, let me pop the book up so you can see it if I can find it real quick. You know what I mean? This is the book, A Roar in Harlem, because we're all lions. We're all lions, And some of us is a little more meat than others, and that's what it is. Now, so you could understand, right? Let me take that off, right? Now, so you could understand. He got a sweet deal. Lucci got a sweet deal because they knew the case was weak. The man wasn't telling, so he didn't give them no intel, nothing to go on. 9 times out of 10, the feds, they wouldn't even have a case if our comrades didn't tell on us or we didn't tell on ourselves. 95% of the conviction rate in the feds is from guilty pleas. I was one of the 5 that took it to trial, you know. So that's not to brag. I'm just letting you know what it is. For, you know, the rat bastards and flip-flop man and public trolls, they look for anything a man say and try and tear it apart. But this brother said he ain't got a good plea. He refused to tell on his ops. They wanted him to testify against, you know, Young Thug. He said, man, you got me screwed up, man. Me and Young Thug, whatever beef we got, we gonna deal with it, we gonna handle it. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all wasn't a part of what created it, that we know, you know, and you definitely don't need to be a part of us handling it or solving it. You know, it's a street thing. And that's what I'm saying. Don't get involved in the street because that's how real it is. See, those are 2 young men that get their props. You know, Young Thug and this young man, YFN Lucci, from what I see. Now, let me break down this plea deal for you so you can understand. He was looking at it. Okay, a RICO in the state and a RICO in the feds is different. A RICO in the feds, it starts off at 20 to life. Being a part of the RICO starts off at like 5 to life, you know? But if you're the boss in the RICO, then you're looking at 20 to life if you charge with the actual RICO. But then now in the state, the max is 20 years. Where in the state, the minimum is 20 years. So pay attention. I'm going to break this down nice and simple so y'all ain't got to get confused looking at these other bloggers. 20 years is the max in the state for RICO, right? So his lawyer made a sweet deal. The prosecutor had to take that deal because they knew the case was weak. So the deal that he made was, okay, we're going to get the 20-year conviction because all the prosecutor wants is that conviction. So the prosecutor got that 20-year conviction, but the lawyer negotiated the plea. Remember, he got a negotiated plea and said, okay, my client would take the 20 years, but he's not serving no 20 years. You know what I mean? So he said, so what do you mean he's not serving 20 years? No, give us 10 years on a cop, you know? We'll take the 20 on the back, but we want 10 in the front. 10 in the front meaning he do up to 10 years and he's done with his time and he gonna have 10 years on parole instead of him going in and he got 15 years in and they hitting him every time he go to parole to still get the 20 out of him anyway. So his lawyer got it capped off at 10 years is the max he could do in prison, and then he got to do 10 years on parole on the street. Now, Georgia give you 2 to 1. So for every 1 day you do in prison, Georgia counted as 3. So you do 5 days in prison, you know, you go 5 times 3. You know what I mean? Man, that's what it is. Comes up to like 15 days, right? So that's the deal that he got. So with that and him having 3.5 years in the county jail, standing on man time, fighting his case, from him having 3.5 years in and them giving, you know, 2 days to every 1 day you serve, it brings it down where he's eligible for parole in about 90 days, man, you know? And then he already know, and his lawyer bad, you know what I mean? And he obviously know the law too. So they knew that when he go to parole in 90 days, they could still hit him and give him more time, and the prosecutor could still come in there and fight it and say, nah, give him this, you know what I mean? We don't want him to come out because the person lost their life, and we only took the plea because of this, and we want you to keep him in jail longer and give him more time. But instead, his lawyer negotiated it where the prosecutor have to send a note saying that they don't concede, they don't disagree if the parole board feel it fit for them to release him after he have had his 4 years in on his 10 years, which is, you know, what you serve on that approximately for you rat bastards that want to look for something to pick apart. Now, so that's where we at. So he got 20 years. 10 years is going to be on probation. 10 years is going to be served. You know, after 3.5, after the 4 years, then he's eligible for parole, but they could hit him, give more time all the way up to the max of the 10 years. But the lawyer negotiated the plea where the prosecutor has to give a letter to the parole board saying that they don't oppose the probation office, you know, giving him parole on his first time up, because normally you don't get it on your first time up, but at least he got hope for the first time. By the time he go back the second time, he'll get it. This young man even been stabbed in prison a couple of times and still headstrong. We don't even know if the rat bastards around him to stab him or not. We don't know what happened. You know what I mean? We don't know what happened. Not saying it happened that way, but we don't know. But whatever it wasn't enough to make this young man fold and buckle. That's how hard and callous and coarse you have to be if you choose the street life. And I'm telling you, don't do that. It's torture on the mind. I got demons. I know he got demons. He lost his friend and had to push him out the car, allegedly. Those demons will forever be with him way longer than that 20-year sentence that everybody goes, oh, 20 years ain't this. He got a lifetime of demons now because his man became a part of his life because he was dead when he lost his. You see how crazy this is? So don't worry about the videos, how nice the girls look and how fly they is and how the dudes wearing their jewelry and they in the projects and they getting along and they this and they driving in fancy cars and their dreads is growing, and the big jewelry. Don't worry about none of that. The palm trees, the pool, all of that. Because at the end of the day, when he lay down at night, he got to deal with the demons. And the crazy part is the demons don't sleep. Sometimes the demons come out during the day to play. The demons come out during the day to play. So that's why I say, man, don't get involved in it, man, because fighting them demons is a mother. So we don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, he even got stabbed a couple of times. Now, when he got sentenced, he sat there and he apologized, and I respect that. And a lot of these rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls gonna criticize this, but this is what it is. He said, I apologize to my friend that lost his life first. Now that was deep. He said, I apologize to my brother that lost his life. And then he went on to apologize to the family and friends of the victim and, the loss that they took. That's what happens in when you take a plea. I went to trial, but when you take a plea, that's what you do. That don't make you a rat. Nowhere around there do that make you a rat. Nowhere around that. So please don't associate rat with this man's name because, once you're stamped as a legend, because he's a legend now in the hip-hop history because he just took one on the chin for the team and didn't bring nobody else in. So he's a legend. Once you become a legend, you get the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls to come out and try and just put any type of crap on you to make your name just as dirty and dusty as theirs. You know why? Because as they say, misery love company. Misery love company. But he apologized to the family and friends. Then they saying, oh, the deal is too sweet, he's a rat. No, he's not a rat, and no, the deal is not that sweet. You know what I mean? All they did was set him up. They set him up the way they did it in New York back in the day. They used to give dudes, 3 to life. 3 years to life on parole. You only do 3 years in jail. You do 2.5 years off of that, and then you get out, but then you're on parole for the rest of your life. So for the next 50 years, you're going to be in and out the court system. Can't vote, can't do nothing, so they won all the way around. They just put the big number at the back, and they let you serve it in small intervals. So it's the same thing they did with him. They still gave him the 10 in the back because they expecting, being that he went out so gangster, that he's going to sit there, hook up with these brothers in pork and beans again and down in Georgia, do what he got to do, maybe even expand somewhere else. And while he's doing that, he's going to screw up, get caught up, then he's going to get the violation and got that 10 years in the back to serve that he was supposed to do on probation, plus whatever he get new, and then his probation charge on that. So they figure they get 20 years out of him before his new charge, God forbid, even begin. But that's how dirty they are. See, they playing chess. Chess is thinking as many moves as you can ahead of your opponent, and that's what they did. They thought as many moves as they had could ahead of them, because they gave him the 10 years in the back. You hold on to that. You ain't got to serve that right now. Leave that alone. And you already served 3 years in this, so you'll be eligible in 3 years. We know you're the gangster. You refused our cop-outs before, but we can't give it to you no sweeter than that. But the 10 years in the back is the setup. But this young man is so intelligent. I got him coming home and figuring out a way around that so he don't fall back in the same trap that they had him in, because now he see how dirty they play. You can imagine how many times they went at him trying to get him to flip on Young Thug and YSL. But this man, another round of applause. Another round of applause. Another round of applause. Okay. Thank you for being quiet. Now, this is where we at. So We got all this down packed. Do y'all understand how that plea go now? He got 20 years. He got to serve 10 years on the sentence, and he get the other 10 years on parole. He got 3.5 years in, and you go up for parole, your first parole hearing after about 3 years, almost 4 years, and he got that in over the summer, so he getting ready to go to parole, so he can have a glimmer of hope, so it'll be all in the paper for y'all to get more content that Lucci going to parole, Lucci going to parole in August, Lucci going to parole, and that's the way that works, you know what I mean? But bottom line is they got their 20-year conviction out of them, even though they broke it down in pieces because they playing chess, thinking as many moves ahead as possible, hoping that he screw up again. Because look at how official these young men is, you know, from the street level. So you don't think that, you know, I'm trying to glorify that because going to job, that's the going to work, having a 9-to-5, taking care of your family, not getting any trouble, that's the ultimate gangster. Let's get that right. When I was growing up, we laughed at the lawyers, you know, the dudes that wanted to be policemen and firemen and doctors and chiefs and garbage men and mechanics. We said those are suckers. Those are flat-foot suckers. But then I sat in jail for 26.5 years while those same flat-foot suckers wound up breeding on my ex-girlfriends and trying to screw my young daughters when they got of age. Some probably even tried when they was underage. But that's how vicious it is out there. So don't say I didn't tell you, man. You can't get it no more realer than I'm giving to you Unique Mecca audio. So let me go back to that. They drive in the car. It's 4 of them. They have a shootout. One gets shot in the head. They know he's dead. They kick him out the car. If that was me in the car, I got shot in the head, I wouldn't expect nothing less. Kick my black ass out the car, I get shot in the head. Boop. And that's it. Y'all going to safety. You know, I didn't duck when I should have, and I didn't bob when I should have weaved, and I caught one in my weave. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, it's no time to cry over this. Because these are the choices we made. And you got to live with your choices. And that's the way it is. I've been up here long enough, man. Just know, like I said, you know, crime don't pay. Don't get involved with crime. Stay away from the bull crap. Get your life together. Go to school. Take care of your children. Take care of your family. And stop the crap, man. Stay off the streets. But if you choose to go there, he just gave you a prime example of how this thing play out. And YSL Young Thug is giving you the same prime example. All right? Make sure you cop the book of Ruin Harlem. Don't forget, cop the book of Ruin Harlem. If you don't know what it looked like, that's the book of Ruin Harlem. And make sure to subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, all I ask is that you subscribe. Remember, please subscribe and share and hit the notification bell and all that good crap. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.